Wow. You consent to being recorded. That's new.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Compulsory for a Zoomcast. No, that's all right.
No, it's fine. It's just really strange. I haven't seen it come up like that before. You consent to being weird.
Right, hold on. Now I need to go on to try and get this on here. Share on group. Sorry.
We're all being so good.
What's it called? Community.
What's it called?
It comes up with every group that I've ever joined.
Oh yes, like
including
baby things for sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how to pick your nose on Christmas Day. You know. Right. Sorry, my keyboard doesn't work very well. So I have to like go back and write things 15 times. It's like it's the space bar doesn't work, so it's like I'm writing in German because the words just get longer and longer and longer. You can't actually read it. Oh my god, that's on the recording now. Sorry. I'll get
oh, okay, got it. Yeah, this is new, this live stream consent stuff. Wowee.
Okay, so we should be live.
Trailing.
I've not had it pop up on my phone yet.
Okay. So, does that mean it's live?
Yes, we are. Hello.
Great. I'm going to delete that so it doesn't start echoing on my phone. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Give us a thumbs up or a hi or something on the chat if you're listening, just to make sure that we are actually live. But we're going to go
in the right place.
We're going to believe that we are live right now. So we're just going to go ahead. Hi everyone. This is Emma and Alice on the Zoomcast today. We are co-founders of Made for Documentary, a community and educational hub for documentary family photographers. If you're interested in any of the courses, you can add yourself to our waiting list. We've got a couple of waiting lists going on at the moment, and they are on the website. The aim of our Zoomcast chats, they are chatty. They're not particularly like slick and professional. They're just chatty. Is to bring
disclaimer at the start there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Health warning. It's to bring you interesting guests who can share insights into a variety of different topics within the sort of genre that we're working in, and showcasing talent across the community, nationally and across the world actually. So today we have got the amazing Dom and Liam.
Hello.
From York Play Studios. They are actually, we're going a little bit left field here. We're going for documentary wedding and street photography today. We also do some family work, but we're sort of focusing on wedding and street because that's what you're really famous and known for. They're also Fuji ambassadors, and they're from Yorkshire. I'm from Yorkshire too.
Am I?
Oh, we're a fully Yorkshire panel. That's amazing. Oh dear. So basically they're amazing, and Alice and I, who are fully entrenched in family photography and aren't interested in shooting weddings, but these are the two people who make me and Alice want to shoot weddings.
Yeah,
is so
definitely.
So hi you guys.
Hello. So we always kind of start by asking people the same question, really, like, how did you get started?
Start with Dom.
Start with me.
Yeah.
So how do we go? I'm just changing the view thing. Hang on, to gallery. That's better. So now I can see you all, because it's really strange. Otherwise, it only swaps when you speak, and it's very disorientating.
Especially when you're speaking, that's really disorienting.
Yes. How did we get started? Well, I started in photography before Liam. I was, I think I was 16. I think I was 16 when I did my first wedding. Yeah. So
you did a wedding at 16?
Yeah. I wasn't paid. I got given I got given a cow toaster. But it was a It was a friend, and they were really worried about the photographer they booked was a bit too traditional. And I just started kind of shooting and playing around with it. So I did it at college and university as well. And I was just playing around with it really. But I really love documentary. So I said, oh, well, I'll just go along and I'll shoot and I'll see what I get. So I shot with film, shot my first wedding with black and white film. And I didn't do any posing. It's basically my life now. But at the time I did, like, I kind of, this was exactly what I wanted to do. And then as we got further into kind of, as soon as it got serious and we had a studio, which I'll get to in a sec, but as soon as we got a studio, then it was like, okay, we've got to make money, we need to pay our mortgage. So we were thinking about it differently, and we were like, okay, let's do groups and portraits, and just let's appease to it, let's please everyone, but at the time I was 16 and I was just like, what do I want? Selfish little teenager. And I was like, well, I naturally love documentary. So that's what I shot. And I shot documentary, kind of the weddings, and just generally, I also did like little street things, little street projects. My first project was called the Bar House, which is a German movement, if anyone doesn't know. And it was like, asking me to do alternative ways of shooting. So it was like, shoot through something. So I was like, oh, I'll shoot through a bin, and just had a really good play, make sure do reflections, and just try and think of photography outside of the box, which was actually really great training. Little did I know that it was going to go on to that looking outside the box was actually going to become kind of my career of photography. But at the time, it was just a really great way of learning. So that's how I started. So I was literally did my first wedding when I was 16, and then I went to college and did fine art photography in university and did photography. And then throughout this, I was kind of dabbling in commercial photography. So I did kind of like a race for life thing where I went and I shot the races. Again, in a documentary way. I didn't get them to pose, but it was paid very well, I have to say. They didn't do it again because they paid us all a bit too much, I think.
More than a toaster then for that one?
Oh, it was much more than a toaster. As a university student, I was most happy with what I got.
A cow-themed toaster.
Yes. And it was great. It was and in every place in the country you got extra money. So I went to kind of all over the place. I was at university in Sunderland. I traveled everywhere to taking these pictures. So I dabbled with commercial photography, but I really wanted to do fine art photography is what I loved. And we did like history of photography. So literally every week we would sit and we would just learn about like the history of photography, starting at the very beginning with archetypes and how was the creation of photography and how it all began to, I remember the last lesson was Martin Parr. And I was like, oh man, I like this guy. This is good. So then I went to the library, which is an incredible library, and I was looking through and I found Martin Parr's work, and I was just hooked into that kind of photography. And so I started playing around a little bit with street, but generally I was thinking, how am I going to make a career out of photography? How do I make money? And throughout this, I was also working at a place called Sea Life Centre. I don't know if you've heard it, just basically an aquarium, where I go and shoot portraits of people as they were coming in. And that guy owned York Place Studios, and he said, would you like to take over? And I said, yes, please. Wow. And that's kind of where Liam comes in.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you got the name.
That's how we got the name.
Yes, it was an existing studio, and he was kind of retiring, and he at first he wanted just to kind of sell us the business, but we wanted to actually buy the studio.
We wanted the building.
We wanted the building essentially, because I thought that's what we wanted to invest in, the actual building itself, not really the name or the business, but the actual building itself. So yeah, together we purchased the building, and I always loved photography, but it was never anything. I thought there was no money in it, so I never seriously considered it. I was like, come on. Like,
you'd seen me, and I'd been doing fine art photography, and that's a difficult way to make money.
I was like, what are we gonna be photographing? Honestly, I couldn't foresee. Weddings never crossed my mind as something. I'd probably only been at maybe to 2. weddings as a child. Like I'd never at that stage, I just never attended a wedding before. And the first, obviously, when we had the business and you've got mortgages to pay, you know, and someone says, hey, would you like to shoot a wedding? The answer is yes. Because we have bills. Yes, of course.
Well, enthusiasm and
yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Oh, when we started, we shot everything. It wasn't just weddings. Anything, anywhere, anytime.
Including the sea life visitors.
That was when I was at college. Yeah, it was when I was at college. I did that.
So that one.
Yeah, so I worked. It was basically my Matt, Liam didn't do anything like this. So yeah, my summer holiday job was working at Sea Life Centre, and I did a few weddings with him at the time as well. And he was quite, you know, getting on, and he was like retiring from weddings. And he asked me to, so I'd done a few more weddings since then, but I'd done them more in the commercial sort of way. But again, he still said, just do what you want, you know. So I was like, well, what I want to do is do documentary. So off again. So during my college years, it was very much thinking about documentary, and my university was very much fine art. And then when we started the business, as Liam was saying, I literally was like, how can we make money? So it was like portraits in the studio, like jewelry, anything, still lives, anything we could get our hands on, we photographed. And for a while, it was just about paying that mortgage. And I kind of put in my head into kind of a box of like kind of my fine art work and my commercial work, and they weren't going to meet, you know. And the documentary was fine art, and that's what I loved. And then the commercial was something that I really enjoyed, and I loved having a studio, but I didn't really love the type of work we were doing. I enjoyed working with the couples and the customers, you know. I enjoyed working with the families, you know. It was good fun photographing babies and all that kind of thing, but it wasn't as enriching to me as, you know, the fine art photography I was doing at university.
Do you still have the studio?
Sorry?
You still have the studio?
We do, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, we do. We don't use it for portraits anymore, but we've kind of dabbled a little bit recently, haven't we?
Yeah, done a bit. Yeah,
just because
we do it here and there. Probably more in the future. We'll probably get back to doing it more and more. It's just, I guess it just depends. You've only got so much time. So if weddings take up a lot of time, then that's what you do. We've been doing a lot of speaking in previous years, so that's taken up a lot of time. So something has to kind of get cut. But I think probably over the next 10 years, I think we'll do more back in that direction. There'll be more of a movement back there again. But that's
I'm interested to do it kind of in a more fine art portrait way, you know, and shoot it as photography as opposed to commercial. So in the future it may come back, because it's all photography. I'm not interested in all of it, and it's just what commercial. Sorry,
essentially what you said about how we have the style that we love, and then we have what we think is commercial, what we think can earn us money. And I think it's so common to think you can't push your own style into the marketplace because you maybe can't earn from it. But then when you have built this name up for yourself, you're now at the point where you can say, okay, we're going to do studio portraits, but we're going to do our version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Test the market.
Yes. When you start in an industry though, and you look around, when you're new, when you first break in, what you tend to do, or what we did anyway, is you look around at everyone else in the industry and you go, what are they doing? How are they making money? And that's kind of the standard. And when we started in 2006, like we had an advantage and a disadvantage, that there wasn't really social media in any kind of big way. So we didn't have necessarily a lot of influences. So we didn't have the pressure necessarily of seeing so many great photographers out there and being kind of like, you know, intimidated by the level of talent that there was. But at the same time, the inspiration that we had was maybe less. So what the kind of inspiration for us was like looking in, you know, going to a library and looking at photography books.
We sound so old.
I know, really. I know. We are, but
it's true. It is true
for the clients as well. They weren't being inundated with the pictures that, you know, flying around the internet that they are now. So the expectations or knowledge of clients was different to now. You know, I would imagine, especially within the wedding industry, that that people are really well versed. They've really researched it and they've seen a lot of stuff and they know what they want.
Yeah, I mean, we basically had, you know, the windows, the shop windows of the other photography studios, and then like we live by the sea, so most of our catchment area was water. So it was a strange old time, but in a way it was a great time because it gave us complete freedom to become what we wanted to be and to have nobody like checking up on us, or, you know, there's no social media. We didn't have to declare anything. I mean, all social media had just begun. I think Twitter was around, which is just crazy to think. It's all blown up.
It allowed us to grow slowly.
Yeah.
And not feel necessarily the pressure. And not necessarily, I guess we could make a, like, we could start doing a style and then we could go, no, this isn't for us, and then kind of reject it and go in a different way. And it wasn't like a big thing.
Yeah, without it being highly recognized already.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was very easy to, you know, at the like now you've got to really cut out the white noise and kind of figure out yourself. And it must be so, starting up now, thinking at all the information you can look at everywhere, it must just be so intense. Obviously there's massive advantages because you can learn really fast, but at the same time it's very hard to be and find yourself. So there's swings and roundabouts to both, but for us, we were, you know, we silently could figure ourselves out.
And talking about finding your style, so you work together, and do you always shoot together? You do a wedding?
Not the past year.
Well,
yeah. We want to
catch up on all of the postponed weddings. So
yes, so we had May and June, we had a few weddings separated, and then I think from July, no, actually in July as well, so May, June, July, we had some weddings that we shot separately, which was really interesting. And I shot some weddings separately on my own in 2020 as well, because they only needed one photographer. And sometimes they'd ask for a videographer, so me and my husband would go along, and we were our own bubble because of COVID. So it was a really interesting. I haven't shot on my own for a very long time, other than, you know, the getting ready or everything like that. So it was interesting, and I think it's been. I don't know how Liam feels about it, but I feel like it was like I'm really glad that we're now back together. But it was certainly an enlightening way of kind of like finding, oh, okay, you've got all the responsibilities on you, and you've still got to create the style that you do, but also make sure that you know, deliver the safe stuff, in the sense of like the confetti and the ceremony and that stuff, you know. So you've also got to shoot it in your style. So it was interesting. But I'm glad that we're back together now.
I think one of the amazing things about your work is that you can't tell from looking who took what picture. And sometimes you see a credit with your actual name on, but you just have this really amazing style that is just the brand style. So how do you find that you shoot differently? Can you tell? Do you ever look at a picture and go, I'm not sure who took that?
I think I always know, because I can always remember being in that place at that time. So, and because we generally don't shoot when we're together, like necessarily right next to each other, I always remember the perspective that I had. So I can always remember where I was at that period of time. Now there's definitely things that we do, I'd say one of us has more of a natural flair for than the other person. But I guess over time, from working with each other, we've kind of learned from each other and helped each other kind of, I guess, cover up or kind of improve the weaknesses or increase the strengths of the other person. So we've kind of found a fairly balanced kind of style, I guess. So yeah, overall, I mean, when we look at our individual weddings, which we shot separately, honestly, like if I'd have shot that wedding, it would have looked very similar. If Dom had shot the weddings I shot, they'd look pretty much the same.
Actually, I just have to share something that while you're saying that, because there's this picture we found on your website, which kind of says that it's not either of you who've shot it. It's somebody else in your family years ago, and I just feel like your talent or this innate ability to shoot street is within your DNA, because this is shot by someone in your family from before you were even born, but it still looks like something that you two could have shot. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's our mum in the middle.
Yeah, so the little girl there, that's our mum, that's our granddad, that's our great granddad in the background in the suit,
Yeah.
with
With a pipe.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
So brilliant.
Yeah.
It's exactly how you shoot, you know, with this great separation of subjects and, you know, tension, everyone's doing something. It's great. It's exactly, it really just feels like a photo that you guys have taken. It's a family brand.
Yeah,
So,
when we found it, we were so surprised, weren't we?
yeah, so that the boy that's digging the sand, that's our mum's twin. And he found a load of photographs that was taken just from his parents, our grandparents, and they were all kind of taken, I don't know, in a kind of streety kind of style, taken by various family members. And it was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Not just one family member who'd taken them. So it really is, it's definitely in the DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, our mum takes pictures too, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she loves to take, she has a Fujifilm X-T1, bless her. And I've just given her my other one, that because I have an X-T1 as well, and she's got a big sensor mark on her X-T1, and I was like, just have mine. And she's off she was shooting again with it, and yeah, she loves it. She's always shooting with it, and same thing. But yeah, that's our grandpa sitting on the deck chair, and he loved photography. He was a lawyer actually, but his love was photography. That's what he did all the time, and we think it was Richard, our uncle, that shot this one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. And it's so you as well. So you mentioned Martin Parr a minute ago. Do you feel that even though your style is similar with the little distinct differences, do you feel you have the same influences? Do you like the same photographers outside of your family?
I think we do. Yeah, we do. And we'll like show each other, like, you know, oh, what do you think of this? And we always agree. It's a bit annoying, I imagine, to anyone outside. You know, it's like, you know, we love Martin Parr, we love Alex Webb, we love Harry Gruyette. These are people that we just love their work of, and for different reasons, we will discuss them, and just new people will share things to each other. We when we first started the studio, we used to live in flats above and below each other, and we would spend a lot of time talking about photography and sharing things and looking at also movies, old movies, and kind of dissecting them. And yeah, we love it. It's and we do have, I'd say, very, very similar taste, if not the same. We're not twins. So.
How have you honed your skills? Obviously, I feel like there's some innate just a link to documentary for you. They can see it through your family, so you've got this natural leaning towards that.
But like you have the eye is, I guess, the thing that's
I guess there's kind of there's two things to photography. There's kind of there's the emotional kind of feeling observation. So there's some things that you look at and they move you in some way, and that's the thing that you connect to, right? That the thing that you go, okay, that moves me, and I need to therefore photograph it. And then there's the compositional, or there's something about what you're seeing, the way that it visually looks, that's not necessarily emotive in terms of a moment, that is also can attract you to taking the picture. And they're two different kind of things. Now, the kind of for example, in something like this, in that last picture with the girl licking the glass, that's very much a kind of an emotive kind of thing. You see something and you're like, oh, I could connect to the girl doing this, you know, that in some way you're like, okay, this is a picture Dom took. And she sees this and she's like, okay, that's funny. Or I recognize this human behavior as being something that's interesting to me. But in another picture, it can just be that you find the composition, or this particular photograph, there's not really any human behavior happening here. It's just light and the way that the image looks overall, and the way the balance. You're like, that is visually interesting. So it's two very different types of photographs, but you still want to, just because it has a nice moment, you still want to make it visually interesting.
Yeah.
So
They marry
learning
together.
how to make it visually interesting, I think, took more time than recognizing the moment itself. I think the recognizing those moments, I think, were more naturally within us than the visual stuff. I think that was something that took more time to understand.
Something like this as well. I think, like you said, people will recognise that this is cute, what she's doing, but a lot of people would take a picture of that.
Of just that.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So obviously I took this picture, and what I was, as exactly like Liam said, was drawn to the licking of the glass. I thought it was funny. It made me laugh. And then I thought, how can I add more elements in? So I guess, like you were saying, some people would just go, oh, that's funny, click. So I was like, I didn't take another version of it just like that. I moved on to trying to figure it out. So then I thought, oh, the little baby on its own is hilarious. So it's just left on its own, which really amused me again. So second element. So let's put that in. And then like trying to add an extra element, which was the bridesmaid coming out, having the three elements. And yeah, the composition is it's looking for something and then composing it correctly. And they have to happen pretty simultaneously for it to work, because things don't happen. Like, she didn't lick the glass for long, maybe a second. So I had 1 second to figure out the composition, and that's what I came up with.
And if you see, when you're kind of figuring these things very quickly out in your head, obviously not always, things don't always align, and it doesn't, like, she may have stopped licking before someone walked out of the door. So if that sort of thing happens, do you just think, okay, I'm just going to let it go and move on to something else?
Totally.
And just leave it and just
So the important thing is to sort of anticipate something's going to happen before it happens. So I was trying to find a good composition before she licked the glass. I was already looking at the baby and thinking that was interesting, and kind of trying to put something together and thinking, well, I have to try and get someone coming out, but if I just get someone coming out, that's kind of dull. So what else can I include? Well, there's some bridesmaids here, but the licking the glass hadn't happened yet. So you kind of have to be in this sort of the right place and sense the chemistry that something's going to happen before it happens. Same kind of mentality as film, I guess. You only get the one shot, so get yourself in the right position. And normally, if you see something happen and you're not in the right position, then you're not going to get the picture. There's not time to get the picture. You're just kind of like, you're standing still and you see something and you shoot, click, and then it's not right. It's just that the moment's correct, yes, but the composition isn't.
Yeah, the trick is to be in the position early, like to be already there.
So how did you guys learn to anticipate? Is it just through practice, or do you think you had a leaning towards being able to do that anyway, just an interest in people that perhaps gave you that?
Oh, it's so hard to separate it, Oh, that's nice, man.
Oh, that was lovely.
It comes out. She's just off her mock history exam, so I'll come in and say goodbye.
Oh, that was so lovely. There you go. There was the moment. That was a lovely moment. We were both massively just like, oh, but I think we are drawn to, and both of us, we have a wide range of humor. We laugh at a lot of different comedians and comedies, and I think that we just enjoy people watchers, always have been. Our mum is as well. We just love to watch what the world go by, and we're connected, and we love watching the connections between people, just like what I just saw then. We both went, oh, because it made us happy. And the composition, well, yeah, that takes practice and time, and decisions. We had like a checklist of, we don't do it anymore, but when we first started on this road, we used to cull together, and we would talk about how we can make it better. Is it just kind of like bullseye images all in the center? How do we change it around? So in this one, there's the little children playing poo sticks, and then to the left, I don't know, can anyone else see the full picture, or is it me? I can only see yeah, you can see the full picture.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I can't see it, but to the left, yeah, for me, there's the little flower girl watching. So just try and make sure the images aren't all just bullseye. So we spent a lot of time when we were both, because obviously we live apart now, but when we were in the flats opposite each other, and then the studio, just always just discussing composition. It was a long project.
It's really interesting, because I think when you're looking at your own images, it's much more difficult to be really subjective about it, and whereas I find it really easy to look at other people's images and cull for them. Whereas, because I don't know, there's a slightly different emotional attachment, and also, like, you know, when you've taken an image yourself, you know what happened beforehand, so you're seeing the picture differently, and if that's not communicated properly in your image, someone else won't see it, even if, but you have that feeling for it that someone else is getting. It's interesting though, because that is, well, I always think that having your work critiqued and talked about is such a good way of learning with documentary, because the moments happen so quickly, you can't plan for it. You've just got to talk about it and learn and analyze like after the fact. And the fact that you would be able to do that to each other all the time, I think must have been a great way of strengthening your work.
That's I didn't, if Dom had taken an image and then she had to explain it to me, no.
Yeah.
Or it's vice versa, obviously. That's no good.
I'd see you and yours first. Yeah. No.
if you post an image, if it's like post an image and then you have to explain, it's like, no, the image has to stand. Like, it's okay to explain an image, to give it a wider context if you need to, but still the image needs to stand alone for it to work in its own right, you know.
Yeah, composition is the language of storytelling. So you have to use the composition to tell the story. And that's what we did. We spent a lot of time just looking through our calls and trying to, figure that out, kind of figure out what we were about and sorry?
And what you could have done differently, but like talking.
Exactly, critique ourselves.
Can't you? Yeah. Really.
Yeah, I mean, we used to like finish a wedding and then it would be driving back, and we do this a little bit now, but we used to do it in earnest, like, so how could we have done this better? What did you find difficult? And it was all just constantly critiquing and figuring things out and making decisions. And we had a checklist of things that we would never do. Like one of the things that we said was we always wanted, we didn't want anything like sticking out of anyone, so there's no like, hands like this. You could be able to nicely just draw around it, so if something was uncomfortable in the composition and it was just like a person sticking out of a person, which is a completely valid technique, and street photographers do that. It's but for us it was a technique that we chose to we chose to kind of go down the route of making it very clean documentary, and therefore all the images were like that, and so we would cut anything that wasn't, and then
just
harshly.
Like
your work is.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was slightly wrong and it went against what we were saying. We were going to just cut the image and we weren't going to show it, and that was the end of that. And it just taught us to get better.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, we won't do that again. Like, it's a good image, but there was something that we did that would go against what we were fundamentally trying not to do, and it was going to ruin the rest of what we were doing, like for the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So get rid.
I mean, your composition is so complex. I think when you look at your work, you see layers, just layers and layers and layers, people and meaning and moments. And so to pull off that really strict composition, those rules, that's something else. Is layers the thing that you kind of look for first? You set up the scene and then see what happens in it?
I mean, I shoot almost the whole day in layers, in a way.
He really does. It's a really, I do all the culling and it's very intense.
Like, I would say, it's a lot of layers. The whole day is a lot of layers.
Yeah.
So some of them can just be one or two elements, but layers is just a way of, I mean, sometimes, it has a lot of things going on, and sometimes it's just two things, but that can still be storytelling. It's just a case of, I'm trying to tell stories, and that sometimes has multiple things going on in one frame. I'm trying to show the connection between things. So that often involves that what it does. Sometimes it doesn't have to necessarily be the people. Sometimes it can be just objects.
Can we go to the wedding cake one for a minute? That's just amazing.
The foot.
Yeah.
The foot.
So,
So what is going on here?
This is 2 layers. But you have, because you don't see for a minute in the background the person with the injured foot. I just love that it takes a minute to kind of realise.
Yeah, so this was a Monty Python wedding, and they were squashing the cake with a foot. Every single thing about this wedding was Monty Python. It was incredible. It was just a York Place paradise. We were just like, every single element was just wacky, and we loved it. We had so much fun. And this was nearing the end of the day. Sorry.
I just said it's like all your Christmases coming at once.
Yes.
So many opportunities for funny moments.
It was so bizarre. And they had this cake, and they literally squashed it with a foot. So we have the normal picture of them squashing with a foot, which was funny in itself. And then they just left the foot in the cake, which like deeply amused me. And I was just standing there, and I was watching. I was watching the foot, and I was taking a few pictures of it, and I was looking at, well, what can I include in this? And then the lady walked past with the cast, and I thought, well, that's hilarious. And sometimes we'll choose to focus on the background because of the cast and things, but in this particular instance, the light wasn't so great, and also it was a bit messy, and the foot's hilarious. So I made sure, what's the aperture there? F4, yeah, because it was dark. 3200, yeah. And so I focused on the foot and then had it in the background, but you can see it just go past this.
It's so realistic, this foot. It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Rob says, I loved this wedding. Hi, Rob. And I put in the chat in the comments, but do ask questions as we go if you're watching along as well.
Hey, Rob. I love this wedding too. It's very entertaining.
So we see these like juxtaposition between things. It's the humor is just, it just kills me, the humor in your images, just these little funny things, yeah, just this compositional element. I was hoping we're going to land on the phone one.
Oh, do you want me to come back onto, let me open it again? I was just going to go onto street photography, but let me
phone one.
The
onto the
the apple.
Let me just,
oh, that's Liam's. Yeah.
Because I saw that photo for the first time a couple of months ago, and it's just like, it means nothing. I don't know the people, but I think about this photo every now and again. Yeah. It's weird. This photo just keeps popping in my head. It's just like genius.
I'm just in case
it takes a second.
In case people haven't noticed, you can see there the position of the nail making up the apple. It's just phenomenal.
Please show me this picture. On the wedding day, we were having, I remember clearly, we just sat down for food, and I was like, what the? Liam, how did it come about?
It was just a really crowded, it's like the at the back of the pub, there was like a little, what's it called at the back of the pub, where there's like outdoor space.
Courtyard sort of space.
Yeah,
like
courtyard.
Yeah. And it was just really like crowded, kind of confined space, and I'm just in there with my camera, elbows in, trying not to bang into people. And I just turned around, and they were taking a selfie, and I just looked at the back of the camera, and I was like, oh my god, it lines up perfectly. Look at that. We just got, I think, had we just got back from Cuba, I think.
Yes, so this was the first wedding we shot on the X-Pro 2.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'd shot it we'd gone to Cuba, and we'd found that we really loved using the Fuji cameras, and the style that we wanted to produce was this kind of using street elements in weddings. And I was using 2 Fujifilm cameras, I believe, and you were using one, and you were basically shot it on the whole time. Do you remember?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I remember thinking, one, I wouldn't have got this previously on my previous cameras, just because back then it was a, being able to basically not see the finished picture, and not using an EVF, not sure I'd have spotted it. I'm not sure. And also, because I just spent a few weeks shooting street photography, I was so dialed in to seeing street photography moments at that point. I was like, everything I saw was street photography.
That's brilliant.
It really helped with this kind of image.
It's just such an amazing
kind of like the more you practice and the more that you do kind of street photography or whatever style that you want to do, the more kind of like, which is the reason why we do street photography. It's just rehearsal for weddings, essentially.
The lovely thing, the thing that I do envy about doing weddings, actually, which you don't get so much in family, is having the number of people to work with.
Yeah.
I think it's such a well, this is one of the things I love about yours, is that you don't try and isolate like just one or two people. It's like all about capturing lots of stuff going on in one frame, and your eyes just don't know where to look. There's so much to take in. It's amazing. And
in a way, our family shoots and our weddings, we treat them kind of the same. Like they're very, very similar in just the day itself. Like they're totally documentary. They're totally, even with street photography, in a way, it's spontaneous, it's relaxed, it's chaotic. It's just how we like it, really.
So do you think there's a difference between the approach with documentary and street and photojournalism? And there's obviously this huge overlap, but are there distinctions that you would do different things in different places with different types of clients? Because we all use these words, we sort of throw these words around, don't we, in the community, and sometimes there's a bit of confusion of exactly what you mean. What
does it really mean?
What are you going to get if you hire somebody?
Sure. This is something, actually, this is something that me and Dom have talked about a lot.
It's something that we worry about a lot more than the clients as well.
Oh yeah, they just want natural, or
they want natural, unposed,
inside or outside.
Exactly, and we get hung up on the detail of all these technical.
Yes,
but we know that we have to do a lot of work to help our clients understand before they choose us, and absolutely after, to make sure that they know what they're going to get. But I know you talk about this a lot. I know you've got some thoughts on your website. You've written about it as well.
And it's a funny one because we get kind of different kinds of couples who book us for our weddings. We get the ones who are so invested in the street wedding photography style. We got some who are actually street photographers themselves. Like we've street photographers' weddings, which is awesome. So they're in. Then we get the people who really get the street wedding photography, and they'll reference it and say things like, I just want my images to be like out of a street book. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I'll message Liam and I'll screenshot it and send it to him. And that's a booking, it always is. And then we get the ones who are kind of artists and directors and authors and creative people. And then we get the people who are like lawyers, but love like creative stuff. And then we get the people who just like the photography, don't really know why, but it just sings and they just feel it. They're kind of like, is that everyone, Liam? Would you say the different types?
And then there's some people who just don't want to be posed.
And that one,
They just want to be left alone on the day. And they don't want to do any portraits, and they don't want to have groups. And that's it.
Tell from looking at your website that that's not a thing for you. So.
By us not showing that kind of stuff, because we do some groups. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we'll do portraits.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever they want.
Yeah, of course we'll do it.
But you don't show everybody afterwards. That's the
key.
Yeah.
You don't show it. And
or
by
you
not
do that.
showing it, we book weddings.
Yeah, you got that amazing one because you get the moment that surrounds the portrait you take. That amazing one of is it the two generations sort of fixing each other's flowers?
Yes, we went past it on the slide. Yeah, that one. That was taken when we were I was in France, and we were waiting to do the next group shot list. So Liam was going photographing documentary.
Going backwards and forwards.
Back to find it. Sorry,
you're going to find it. So Liam was he was doing just documentary. I tend to just deal with the groups on my own. Sometimes he'll get asked to do them, it's absolutely fine, but I will do the lion's share of them. And this particular instance, they were just waiting, and so because of that, I make it clear that I'm not going to find the people. and this is all communicated beforehand. Liam's not going to go and find the people, so your ushers are going to go and find the people, all the bridesmaids, because they know who everyone is. Otherwise, I'm just going to be shouting, and everyone's going to know who I am, and I don't want everyone to know who I am. I don't want them to think, oh, she's the photographer. Do you know what I mean?
You want people to forget you're there, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be the one where they go, oh, she's the bossy photographer.
Yeah, they're the same with families, and obviously it's slightly more difficult for them to forget you're there because you're one of like 5 people rather than one of lots
in their house.
The idea is like as long as the people who really get the procedure of it or understand that long sessions are just better because they start to forget you there and start thinking of you as part of the family.
Exactly.
And that makes such a difference. And it's the forgetting that you're there that's important. So,
Where if I had a whistle and I was being bossy, they would never forget I was there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would be the bossy photographer, and I don't want that. So I just say, right, if you're going to have quite a few groups, then that's fine. I don't mind because I will do in between stuff. And also I had groups on my wedding day. I don't think there's anything shameful about them. I think that it's quite cute seeing everyone's different heights, and as long as it doesn't take the end of the earth to do it, then actually you can get the most important family all together in one space. And when they're moving away to do a different group, sometimes you get some really cool, I'm really excited to look at the last one I just did to Cull, because during their groups there was some crazy little kids just running around like mad, and I'm dying to see what happened there, because I have a feeling, I haven't looked through, but I had a feeling there was some interesting stuff that happened, and that was during a group little thing, and they were so anti-groups, that couple, but when it came to it on the day, they were just like, oh, let's just get a couple of the family together, and actually it worked really well because the kids were amazing at that wedding. So in this particular case, they literally we were just waiting, and they just turned, and I was staying on. It's very easy to, when it comes to the groups, to clock off and just wait for the next one to turn up, or be looking at your list. Again, I'd rather the ushers to have the list so that I'm still clocked onto documentary, because it can be it's quite different otherwise in your head. So I try and keep it thinking about documentary. And then this happened, and I was like, wow, how wonderful is that? And then they got the images, and then they rang me just to talk about this image.
Oh wow.
They just were like, we didn't know it happened. It's it was the bride's mum and dad, it was so them, and they just rang me to thank me for this image.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
perfect moment. Yeah, brilliant.
And they have the other one of them all standing there, but that's the one that they loved, and that's the one they have in their album, and that's the one that meant something to them.
Often, when because occasionally on a family shoot, I'll get asked to do some static portrait things as well. And again, like you said, I don't put them on the website, but I do them when the client asks. But then I'll do stuff. You kind of know as well which clients you can push a little bit further as well. You kind of get the gist of them. And I'll do other shots that aren't traditional, and they'll go for them. And I think once they see them, sometimes people find it really difficult to visualize, but once they see them and they see how much more character and story and unique, the unique family attributes are in the one that's a bit weird, and they go for that.
The one that's a bit weird.
I love it if they've got someone who's just started to learn to run, or a small dog, someone who's held. Then you go, right, I've done it, and you obviously wait, and they just let go. And if you're a little dog that runs towards, or you kind of make a little noise at the dog to run to you. I always enormous blurry dog. I love it when you get that moment where it's all over.
But it's just the chaos, and they think, oh no, this is the worst part, and actually this is the best part. Sometimes you get couples who are really clued on, like my list of all the different kinds of couples, and then sometimes, and mostly our couples are, but most of the guests aren't. The guests are not, they don't know.
True,
so they really are like, what are you doing? But then when they see the pictures, they're like, oh wow, okay, that's what you were doing. Which is fun. It's fun to exceed their expectations and imaginations. They can't imagine it because they're not creatives, and that's fine. And I want them to I want to see these pictures and go, oh wow, that's me. That's my favorite thing. And they're like, oh wow.
And that's why they hire you, to do something a bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then there's the type that we never expect, they would never expect to come up. So we've got a few that we were going to look at in a bit more detail. We're going to chat through the breakdown of how you saw them.
Oh yes, yeah.
So shall I bring it? I was just flicking through the end of street photography ones.
I wonder if we could
because me and Alice really like this picture, so I wanted to.
Oh, I love that one. Shall we have a little look at the street ones right at the end again? Because we can then
Sure.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah. So you've sent us some pictures, and then there's the final one, and then there's the ones that you saw kind of running up to it, which really shows us your thought process.
Alice and I saw Dom and Liam talk about 2 or 3 months ago, and saw them talk about these pictures and the build up and the process and their thought, and talking about their thought process, and a little bit how you've been sort of discussing, like with the foot picture.
Yeah,
because you showed visually with pictures the thought process of how you got there, and sometimes it's over a really long period of time as well, like the first one I'm going to show you. It's just really, really interesting to get into your heads. That we found it amazing, so we've asked them to show that. Let me just hold them a second. Make a mess of this. Wait a minute.
So we talk about finding your frame, and then finding the light, and then waiting for like a moment, anticipating what happens. But some of these things, they can be like a really, really long time, can't they?
Yeah.
So, like this is just brilliant.
Yeah, because you can see an image like this, and you can presume that it just happened in front of you, and you just took the picture, and that's the story, right? But for something like this, it's actually not the case at all. It took place over about 40 minutes to get an image like this. So the initial spot was actually the elephant, the post of the elephant. So this was the reception of a wedding, and we just arrived, and we went to, this was a place called One Friendly Place in London. It was a wedding reception.
Really cool.
So we arrived, and as we came through the door, it's like this weird entrance. It's kind of a really quirky, kind of strange venue. And there's a poster of an elephant. And how often do you go to a wedding reception, there's a poster of an elephant on the wall? And everything basically that I'm seeing all the time when I'm at a wedding or anywhere, shooting street, if I do a family session, any kind of photography that's in documentary, backgrounds, people, clothes, everything I'm looking at, and I'm looking for opportunities. I'm looking for things to match. I'm looking for things that don't match. I'm looking at how things connect. Maybe they don't connect. And if they don't connect, maybe that's a way of connecting, right? So everything, basically looking to how to make photographs. So I saw the elephant picture, and it was like, okay, what could go with an elephant? And it was like, from a wedding, probably nothing. What could I possibly see? So
like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So I don't know, probably about half an hour or so passed, and we're in the photo booth, and all of a sudden I'm just photographing the kids, and the zebra head got put on this kid, and I thought, oh my god, this is perfect. But unfortunately, like, the elephant poster's on the other end of the building, so I was like, okay, so he's got to go that way. But he was kind of wandering around, so I was like, maybe he will. But as soon as he put it on, I was like, I'm sticking with him, and I'm just going to stick with him at this point until either he takes the kind of mask off, or we get called in for another kind of event. I'm going to photograph him, and I'm going to just try and make something happen. So as he's moving around here, he's photographing, I'm just taking pictures, because these are kind of usable images. These are pictures
these are great images.
These are funny images.
Anyone would be happy with these on their own.
Yeah.
But you want 10 levels up.
Yeah, a boy with a zebra head on is great material, whatever he's doing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. He also has like the stripes on his arms as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
So, and there's one on his back as well. I was like, this is unbelievable. So he actually then all of a sudden turned around from this moment, and he actually ran down kind of the corridor past me and straight past the elephant poster. But he was so quick that I couldn't, like, he was gone, and I couldn't get back. And he ran past, and I was like, no, I've missed my chance. So he came into this room, and he sat down on this chair, and he's actually talking to somebody who's like on my left-hand side behind me. And because there's a table to his side, I couldn't get round to like be on the other side to shoot him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't get a picture of him and it at a good angle, essentially. So this is the best I could get. And also he was only here for maybe, I don't know, less than 10 seconds. So I was like, okay, this is not ideal. So then he turns around and off he goes out of this room. And I was like, well, this is a picture of them together, but it doesn't work. They're too far apart. It's too isolated. There's a person in the middle that's kind of distracting. So you've got the two elements, but there's no communication. The kind of the composition doesn't work. And I knew it didn't work. So I was like, oh, okay. But I knew also that as long as he doesn't take it off, he was going to have to go back past the, there was only one way back into the main area. So he's going to have to go back. So then he goes back outside to go and talk to people. And he's kind of he went to show people his hat. And as soon as, there you go. And as soon as he went back into this main area again, I positioned myself ready for him to walk past that poster. And when he did, he passed it. And there we go.
Genius.
Love it.
Brilliant.
So a long story just to get this picture.
It's great.
I love the fact it says WWW as well, like the animal kind of rescue.
Yes, yeah, World War.
Oh,
Yeah. I was like, that's a nice little addition.
yeah.
And that he's got it at the, when you go back to this one, the head just doesn't work as well front on, does it? As side view.
No, it looks more false somehow. The light in that is so much nicer as well.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that makes us want to do edits, because this is why we want longer sessions. So you can have that luxury of time. You can think, I'm going to give 40 minutes to a zebra head just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that in an hour and a half. Like, where are the pictures of everyone else?
It's the number of people and the length of time, because you're automatically given a much longer time with the wedding, whereas it's difficult to explain to families why they should pay so much more for a longer session.
Yeah.
I think you want this to just be short because the kids won't last long, and you have to kind of explain how that's the opposite. But with the wedding, people, it's okay. They know you're going to be there all day, and if there's two of you, this is just brilliant.
I wasn't chasing the zebra. I was off doing other stuff, because obviously not everyone can chase a zebra. I did know that's what he was up to, though. I had seen and I'd smiled, and then I'd left him do it.
You just know.
That's really interesting, though, that you could tune into what he was doing. You recognised what he was looking for.
Oh yeah. There's quite a few times when pretty much all the time, we'll recognise what the other one's doing, and we'll go off and do something different, because we're like, oh, they've got it covered, and we can't have the same thing. And also, we don't want to. It's like there's no ego. It's like if someone gets it, great. It doesn't matter. Let's let someone else go and find something else, because there's always something else to shoot. Yeah. May not be as good as a zebra boy, but
Do you ever get notes that you haven't, you either of you, this is like that you wish you'd taken one of the shots that someone else?
I'm just relieved if someone gets it. Quite honestly.
That's so
just relief. Pure relief.
We don't ever think, oh, it's a shame that we didn't get it, or chase the same shot ever.
I still get the credit if Dom gets it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you said, it's so interchangeable. Your styles are so well honed that you can just pretend.
We don't. We don't say anyway on our Instagram or anywhere really. We do have our own little separate websites for just because we got our domain names a long time ago, which is kind of cool. That has our work on it. But other than that, no, we just keep everything all the same.
So this is another one then where you kind of lined this up.
Yeah, so this is kind of like, the other one was kind of like seeing, kind of understanding that there was potential an obvious poster, and you're like, okay, this was, okay, I'm seeing human behavior that I recognize people were drunk and something might happen.
It was very early for them to be drunk.
It was very early. But I was like, okay, there was two people, they were drunk and they're acting a bit silly, and I was like, okay, something could happen here.
Yeah.
So here they are, they're kind of play fighting. They'd had a little bit to drink, and I was like, something, I didn't know they were going to fall backwards, but I was like, something could happen here.
Where's his shoes? Was he always fighting with the shoes?
This is one, he's got his shoes off, hasn't he?
Yeah, shoes off. Yeah.
There's a lot of alcohol and empty glasses around.
Look at that bottle.
Yeah.
It was a good wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was like play fighting with pillows, I think.
Yeah, the pillows that people were sat down on, I think. Yes.
Yeah, you can see some other ones here, can't you? And like there's a little, like you can see that they've got bales and the things from to sit, which go really nicely with what they're wearing.
I mean, the orange and blue is always great to get, isn't it, in a scene anyway?
Yeah, it's very attractive. Oh God, look at them, bless them.
So it's just a case of, okay, something might happen. So I'm going to, as we were saying before, let's get the composition right. So I need to get the composition now, because when something happens, the moment happens, whatever that is, and I'm not sure what that's going to be, I want to make sure my composition is going to be as interesting as possible.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like we were talking with the kids playing with the sticks. You could just shoot that and it's just the fight. But then you bring other element in with the little girl watching the stick fight. There's just another layer of story, and like by bringing this lady in. Yeah.
Because like as you can see from the previous image, that's the initial composition is just this angle, which is fine, but it's just a little bit boring.
So imagine if that's what you'd taken and the leg was up. I mean, it would just it'd been fine.
Yeah. Can I make it a little bit more interesting? Can I bring something else in there? Can I what kind of, how do I want it to look? I want it to be maybe a little bit more dynamic. Yeah. And also my decisions at the moment was I didn't know that the leg was going to go up in the air.
Yeah.
So
well, you wouldn't.
No, I didn't know that.
You're so straight as well.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe at the moment I was as interested as also in what the girl with the blonde hair here, what she could bring to the picture. Yeah. So I was like, maybe she's going to bring a spontaneous element. I didn't know what, but I was thinking she was moving her hand. So if you go to the next picture, she started moving her hand like in and out of the frame. I can't remember what she was pointing at, but she was pointing at something. Some
of a crazy thing that was happening.
Yeah, and I was thinking, because she kept doing it, and people often repeat things again and again and again. I was thinking, maybe they're going to do something crazy, and I can get her hand pointing at that crazy thing. So I can bring two things together, and she wasn't pointing at them, but I can make it look like it. So that was kind of my thinking at the time. I can combine those two elements.
How close are you standing to them at this point? Are they aware of you?
I mean, yeah, I guess they are aware of me.
Well, they've had a drink, so
yeah, they're not so bothered. They're not really that bothered.
Yeah, it's outdoors, and everyone was quite close, but also not at the same time. So some people were close, and some people it was a big field of just madness. It was great. There was well, I wasn't doing this. There was other amazing things happening. They were playing a game of is it limbo? Yeah, limbo, and but with glasses on the. While they were drinking. It was absolutely nuts. It was brilliant. So there's tons of stuff going on. So it was like, and they were a great crowd. Like you can kind of understand how close to get to someone by the kind of the reactions and how they are, and their personality. If you wouldn't do this to a wedding where I don't know why I was going to say this, but someone was wearing a monocle, but like a monocle, but like, a top hat, that's what I meant. Yeah, like a top hat wedding, do you know what I mean? Like it would be, unlikely that you would be able to get as close. You have to just judge it on the person. And
do you find with mirrorless, that helps you get even closer?
Yes. Yeah.
And also because we can shoot on the back of the screen.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference.
Because so you don't have to like get your head in the right position, which is more of an obvious thing to do.
People get uncomfortable if you put your head near there, So obviously.
Especially now in COVID.
The other nice thing is if they can still see you as a person. They're not, when you've got a camera,
exactly.
you're impersonal, aren't you? Whereas if you've just got it away, you're just less noticeable. You blend in a bit more, and you're more.
You're a person.
Small cameras,
aren't you? Yeah.
Small cameras, and you can kind of put them. You can use your whole arm length to kind of, if you need to. So you can
be a handshake away.
Yeah, like I can almost double the length.
Yeah.
I am away from them, if need be, and get a bit closer. And you don't have to keep it there. Like you can be double the length. You can be looking at the picture if necessary, and still have the camera to your body and be looking at the scene and be absolutely ready. Like, you can put it out there, look at it, and then put it back, and be just looking at the scene. Just be ready, be ready, be ready, and then and I'm back, right? And you got it, and it happened so fast they weren't even aware what happened.
Yeah, that's kind of a street technique, really, you know, because on a wedding day, you kind of have the ability to get close to someone most of the time, and they know that you're going to photograph them. On the street, you do not have that luxury. You've got to be very careful, and yeah, the technique that Liam's talking about is a obviously with no shutter, is a technique you can do on the street. But again, you have to really think differently, and you've got to be able to look at someone and know if they can be shot or not, if they can be photographed, if they're going to be, how they're going to react, are they going to kick off, you know. We've never had anyone on when we've been photographing street have a go at us, you know, ever, because we can tell if they would. Do you know what I mean? And that's just
somebody, you can feel somebody's, how they might feel about it, you know. And if you feel, oh, they might not feel comfortable, then we just don't do it.
So I remember shooting, I was doing some street photography. I've got a little Ricoh, which I just find a just revelation for street photography. It's tiny and you wouldn't even see it. This guy was coming towards me with devil horns on his head. I thought, I'm so gonna shoot you. And I just looked at him and gave him a big smile. He gave me a big smile back, and I just put it right in his face, and I knew that was okay.
Because there you go. Smiles is a big thing. Yeah.
But it's different. Because at a wedding, or when someone's hired you, obviously you've got that. You're allowed to do it. But when it's a big event with lots of guests, maybe not everybody wants you to be right in their face. So I think mirrorless has just changed so much for so many of us.
Yeah, I still, even at a wedding where we can do anything really, I still try to feel what they might want to a degree. You know, I don't, if I can send, I try to feel their boundaries a little bit as well, about what they're comfortable with, because I still want people to have a good day. That's important to me. So I can kind of judge what's appropriate, I guess. So something like this, anyway. It's kind of like I'm judging the space. I'm looking, trying to kind of see what's going on. It's getting more chaotic. I'm looking for her arm to come out to point things. And I was like, okay, this is getting more and more interesting. And I'm starting to think at this point, I remember thinking, I don't think her face is going to help this situation on the left-hand side. Because one, I don't know if she really wants to be part of this. Like maybe I should just remove her face out of this, because this might not be something that she wants to be part of. So I lowered down the camera to crop her out, which I'm very glad I did. And as that happened, chaos, and this happened.
And that tattoo as well.
This is brilliant. The tattoo
of a wine bottle, which I didn't see.
That's the cherry on the top that you just didn't know was going to be there.
I had no idea. I had no idea. That is when I looked at the picture later, I was like, well, unbelievable.
Brilliant. Yeah. Pat on the back,
but I can have no credit for that, I'm afraid.
There's a line of alcohol. You've got the glass, the cup, and then you've got the tattoo on the bottle.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And just feet everywhere.
You can see her other tattoo through the other, like on her.
Yeah, the feather.
Through the rest of the photos, but you just have no idea that this one's there.
No.
Amazing.
So there are these tiny little elements that we can say we got lucky with. But this, there's no luck involved in the amount of work you put into this final image, because the seeing that you do and the thinking through that you do,
the thought process and all of that, you can see it happening. That is just a cherry on the top, which is just great. But without that,
it's still great about that. It's just a little bit of gold dust, isn't it? Like,
the build up to it as well, and the decisions that we made.
Should we have a look at another one?
So I think this one is one of Salman's, if I remember rightly, with the wedding in the pub.
Bribe tribe.
Bribe tribe.
That's what I affectionately call it. Oh dear. So yes, this was this year, and
was this one of the ones you were shooting on your own?
Yes, actually, yes, it was. And we were leaving, we were in the pub and we were just leaving. And I always try and go out before anyone else does, just to get a sense of what's going to go on. Because I really like shooting them walking around the streets. And I got a few pictures that I really liked at this point. But this was my favorite because I came out, walked around.
Your bride. This one's your bride.
That's my bride. That's Maggie. And then I saw the hen do, and it's not just sometimes it wouldn't really work, but this one says future bride and team bride as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is awesome. But how can I make it work? And also I knew it may not come together, but I've just got to hope that it will. It's one of those ones where you can see it could be amazing. Like the last one, it was like, oh, that was unexpected. Who knew that the lady was going to fall backwards? This one I was like, oh, everything's here apart from the bride. So but it could have easily gone wrong. The bride and groom come out together holding hands. Someone went out in front of her expression couldn't have been good. There's so many things that could have gone wrong, and I kind of knew that. So I didn't have the I didn't have the luxury of having time. So I was very quickly adjusting how I wanted it. So if you look through the next one, let you. This was my. So that was how it ended. This is the initial spot, and I'm straight away like, oh no, that's the little girl coming out. That's the bride's daughter. I'm like, I don't have long, so let's try and adjust this. Try and figure out the best angle. And I really wanted to include future in it if possible, because I loved the future sash, and I didn't feel like anything to the right was really giving anything to the image. So I thought, okay, so position it, change it up, figure it out. I tried that as well. Just trying to this was all done so quickly. It was I was just like boom, 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 trying to figure it out. Exactly. And then she started coming out. And by that point I had figured out my composition. The one before was kind of a more close in. Does it work more close in? Can I tidy it up? Because I was also trying to make it easier for myself, in the sense that not as many things could go wrong. And in this one, of course, you can see faces, which is really irritating. So I was like, okay, let's have it so that it's possible a bit wider to the left, because that one's too close in. And just basically concentrate on hopefully the bride coming out and the future bride and team bride. And it worked, but it was one of those ones that could have not. But I was in the right position, and she pulls an amazing face as well. She could have pulled anything. So I was so grateful it all came together as I wanted. And I just love, again, it's just so many glasses. And also the girl in the background in that pink.
Yeah, this pink with the pink flowers.
It just matches all the pink tones.
Pink flowers, the pink flowers everywhere, isn't there? It's really nice.
Yeah, as if, all this, it is. And I think just, sorry?
It's an amazing outfit, this one.
Incredible. No. So was anyone... No. So actually everyone in the background, that was a different wedding. Oh, so really? Another wedding came in. Yeah, so there's
three weddings.
Yeah.
So 3 layers in 3 weddings. So Rob says, I think you're talking about this photo, Rob. This made me sick when I first saw it. What kind of witchcraft is this? Rob Dodsworth. And I think you can see the EXIF data on the Zoomcast as well. What's interesting is the only thing you're changing this whole time is the composition.
Yes.
So you're not changing your settings. I think that's something that a lot of people, when you're learning it, you're constantly changing, thinking, oh, I've got to catch up with things. But it's all in the anticipation, isn't it? You set your technicals ready for something to happen, and you just make this micro composition.
Whilst I was walking out the door, before I even saw the future bride, I was already adjusting the composition for light. Right. So I'd had it obviously differently in the pub, and that's all I ever do. I just go into a space and I change the obviously I'll change the aperture to different ones, but in this particular instance I knew I was going to go f8, so I changed it as I was walking out, went round, saw future bride, and I was like, oh man. And the other wedding
where you're holding the camera above your head as well to get this angle.
What was I doing? Yes, I was.
and look
Yes, I couldn't even see. That's right.
I wanted to see the future bride, the future word, where so you're going in over their heads.
Yes, I was. I was risking it all for a biscuit. It was it was tricky, but I knew it was worth it if I got it right. So yeah, you're right. I was holding it a little bit over my head so I couldn't see the screen. I'd put the focus point to the right onto where the bride was going to come out. Yeah. I hoped that no one was going to turn around in the background because, as I said, it was a different wedding, so it wasn't important to the bride either. And then the bride to be section. And I wanted the focus. I wanted you to look at the bride. I wanted you to look at Maggie, my bride. And thankfully, she's in white as well. Like if she'd been something different, that could have been tricky because it might have not looked like a bride. But as it is, she's even got a bouquet. Bless her.
Yeah, she has, and she's actually the most active person in the picture as well. So you're drawn to her for that purpose, I think, as well.
Yeah, she's moving her foot. So yeah, so I got the camera over a little bit above my head, not all the way, but a little bit, and positioned the focus point, figured out my composition of putting future bride and teen bride in, and then making sure that the heads at the top weren't cut. It was a lot to think about in very.
This is lovely to get the reverse of the hairband in it as well. Bride.
Yes. So there's no. So there could have been another bride, of course, because imagine if there'd been one in the left-hand corner.
Just driving past.
Yeah.
Just married.
Well, it's London, you can get that. And what was really nice is when Maggie walked out as well. I didn't show it in this, but I showed it on the Fuji vignette that you saw. She had this little smile on her face, like I know what you're doing, and it's funny, which I really enjoyed.
That is literally street photography at a wedding.
Yes.
It's just
after
dream come true.
She walks out of the door and walks off. She's like walking off the screen, and then she's like looked and like.
She does. She's like high five. She was like, she knew what I was doing. She knew I was trying to be funny, and she thought it was funny. So I was like, yes. Oh dear. But yeah, no, it was a really good wedding, that, and the kind of the type of bride she was. She was completely in on it.
Yeah, brilliant. Have we got time to look at one more?
Yeah.
Love this.
We can go on if you can go on. So
we can go on as long as you want.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Look at all of them then.
There's this one and two more, so hopefully we'll have.
Sure, yeah. Let's do it. An image like this is like games at wedding. So it's just trying to find, because you can easily shoot, we've been talking earlier about the difference between like shooting documentary and street. I think this is kind of a good example of one that's a bit more streety. So it's very easy when there's something like games happening at a wedding, just to kind of shoot it very literally in a documentary sense and just document what's happening in a nice kind of manner and just as a document of the event itself, right? And that's fine. And I do that all the time, obviously. And if I'm not careful, I can fall into just if I get tired at a wedding, just doing that, just be like, okay, I'll just start shooting this. But I want to always try and push myself to try and find something in the image that makes it gives it something that's either, I don't know, a little bit of spark, something that's maybe makes you look again, like a double take. It's like, hang on, something's strange in this image. There's something not quite right about it. Now that can be just something that's funny, but it can be something that gives you a double take. Or, for example, in this image, they're actually playing with, I'm playing with perspective. So these cards are actually oversized. And when they were kind of chucking them up in the air, it was like I was trying to capture the card in a way that it was maybe going to hide somebody in a kind of a strange way. And it obviously went perfectly over the girl in the background. So if we look through the other images, as I arrive, what I'm doing here is I'm originally just kind of like shooting it a bit like the family shot that we saw at the beginning that one of our family members took, like very similar kind of style, right? Yeah. It's kind of like I guess documentary. It's kind of it's trying to balance it out. trying to have it done in a pleasing aesthetic kind of way. And it's all nice. These are perfectly deliverable kind of shots to the couple, but it's always like, can I do more? Can I make this a little bit more interesting? Is there something else? There's always something that I keep thinking on a wedding day or shooting anything, is there more than just this? So it's like, just push yourself that little extra bit, because sometimes you can find something else, and it's not always something that is that you can consciously kind of like imagine. Like, I didn't necessarily think that was it, right? I didn't think perfectly, it's going to be there right in the middle. I didn't think that. I just knew that there was something to be had here. And I knew that by him chucking the cards, something random could happen.
Yeah.
And that if I stayed with this moment until it was over, there was potential for it.
Yeah.
So it's just, sometimes you just got to stay with, like, trust your instinct that there can be more, and just give a little bit more of yourself in that moment. That's what I would always kind of say to people when they're doing this kind of thing. Just try and give a little bit more. And I say it to myself, all this kind of stuff I say to myself, because I am guilty as doing all of this. I will, on a wedding day, it's very easy, because weddings are tough, they're long, they're going for a long time. And especially the reception, which is our favorite part of the day, often you've done a lot of work up to that point, you can be tired. And that part of the day often can be the part of the day that can actually give a lot in terms of spontaneity and kind of producing a lot of kind of more kind of street styled kind of shots. So it's very easy at that part of the day just to go into pure documentary and cruise through that part. But that's when you've actually got to put your foot down and really go for it, because you're going to get so many shots during that point of the day.
Yeah.
The effort you put into seeing is just incredible. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, and just think, and it's the that you can see a scene and have an idea of where it can go, and then working to get that as well. I think that's really, really interesting just to hear you talk about it.
It's we often say, like, when we do street photography, the difference between doing street photography and wedding photography is, with street photography, you can go out into the world and you can shoot anything that you want. And that's great, but having anything and everything is overwhelming. So what you've got to do is that you've got to actually try and make the world smaller. So you've actually got to, like, give yourself like a focus about what you're going to try and photograph, where you're going to go, what type of area you're going to go, what are you trying to shoot?
Yeah.
So you're trying to make the world a little bit smaller, because there's so much you can do.
It's a really good way of seeing it. That it's like giving yourself limitations.
Yes. With weddings, it's the complete opposite. You're trying to make the world bigger. So by what we're trying to do by doing a lot of street work, we're trying to open our eyes to the other possibilities of photography. What can we shoot? What can we see? What other things are there available to kind of see on a wedding day? Because it's so easy just to kind of, as I was saying before, just shoot things very, very literally. And while that is a perfectly legitimate way of photographing, and I'm not kind of dissing it, I do it all the time and will continue to do it, there are always other ways of kind of photographing. So, like, by doing street work and by kind of engaging in that kind of world, it opens your eyes on the wedding day to, there are other ways, and then you start to see, like, the apple over the phone or this kind of shot, and you're like, and you get, like, it doesn't replace your old work, it just adds. So it adds like an extra spice of flavor to your other kind of documentary work that you're doing. And the more options that you see on a wedding day, the more pressure it takes off you. Because what you want to be able to do on a wedding day is go in there and see as many things, opportunities as possible. Because if you can see things and just go in, you feel like you've got so many opportunities. It feels like the day's going slower. You feel more comfortable. You feel more relaxed. You feel like, oh, I'm just in the zone, whatever that is, right? You're just kind of like, I'm just shooting over here, getting a photographs over here. I'll go over here. Oh, look at this. Now I've got some great photographs over here. Everything is just constantly, you're taking photographs and it feels good. Yeah. Whereas if you're not in the zone, the day's moving fast, like you're struggling to see things, and everything becomes an effort and it becomes stressful. And what you want to do is remove that stress, relax, feel comfortable, and it just becomes, weddings become just a joy if you can get into that zone, basically. Yeah. So that's kind of what, that's the feeling I want every photographer to have who does documentary. I want them to approach photography and be like, this is a joyful experience, because I know the joy, I know the joyful experience. I also know the not the joyful, I also know the stress. I also know when it feels like it's going quick and you can't see anything. I know that feeling too. So I know how horrible that is, and I know how beautiful the other thing is. So it's kind of like, let's try and get everyone into the joyful experience.
Do you think that transition comes with having shot a certain number of weddings, or having done it for a certain number of years? There's that 10,000 hours quote to become good at something. So for people who are maybe just starting out in either family or wedding photography, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. How far away is that, do you think?
Man, I think there's definitely
so many things, I'm sure.
There's definitely something in that. I think there's definitely something. I think if you feel like you're struggling, I think, first of all, that's a good sign.
Because you know you want to be better than you are now.
I think that's it. That's an important thing. Like if you feel, oh, that struggle, everyone gets it. I get it. Like I'll go through times where I think, oh man, there's a struggle going on. And I've got to remind myself, this is good. This is the good stuff. This means I'm growing. This just means I'm not satisfied. Because it's easy. Sometimes I will go through a stage where I'm like, I feel really satisfied. Man, I feel really good.
It doesn't last long.
It doesn't last long, no. But that struggle is good, right?
So we talk about the gap a lot. The thing that is Idriglass, the gap when your taste is ahead of your talents. We appreciate things that are better than you're making, and you're so acutely aware that you're not making things at that level yet, and that's really painful. But that's the brilliant place to be at when you're open to learning and you're about to get better if you work.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to, I think, the social media thing. Like people are seeing all this great work, and it must be really hard when you're just starting out to try and you know what you want to achieve, but you can't quite do it yet. But I think you just have to trust yourself and work hard and believe in the kind of what you want to create. And obviously it's not what we want to create. Everyone sees different things on a wedding day. You can give, like, if you gave, it's just when you have like a bunch of people with a bunch of cameras and they go to the same event, they don't shoot the same thing, because everyone sees things differently. Everyone finds different things funny, different things emotional.
And you guys
feel
are a
different
example as well of like not just looking at wedding photos and thinking I'm going to learn everything I need to from looking at wedding photos, looking outside of the genre that you're actually practicing in.
Definitely.
So much more. It's something completely different or something new, and that's when you get much more growth, or you bring something different to your own offer as well then.
And outside of photography as well, like other art forms.
Yeah, exactly. Like photography, artwork. And if you love like portrait photography, then look at the portrait masters and look at like the portrait like movies, because there are ones where Lost in Translation has absolutely beautiful kind of portraits in it, and when it's just gorgeous, when they're wandering around Japan, in Tokyo, that kind of thing. There's all kind of, if you're really into like the small people big landscapes, look at landscape photographers. Like, they know their stuff. If you want to do that kind of thing, there's loads of different kind of photography or artwork or poetry. There's so many different ways of being creative and enjoying creativity. It doesn't have to be in the tiny niche of weddings or family. you know.
It's all about having a point of view on the things you see, literally having a point of view, and using that as a way of expressing an opinion or a feeling or communicating something to somebody else or to anybody else. Yeah, and I guess trusting your instincts is a really strong part of that, because you don't always know why you like something. And I really like it's Anthony Burrell, the printmaker, has this print, I like it, what is it, that I have by my desk. And I love that. It's okay just to like something and not know anything else other than you like it. I think sometimes if you're struggling to get to a place you think you should be at, holding on to things you love about what you do, even though you're not sure why, is, I think, the fastest way to get to be good at the style you will eventually be known for, maybe.
Great point. Yeah.
That embrace the little weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes you happy. To do things that you love make you happy, you know. There's, I think, like doing stuff that you love, but also doing stuff that, doing a good job makes you happy, you know, like being satisfied, like saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to shoot this, and then at the end of it, looking at what you did and being proud of that work, but because you met the standards that you set yourself. You're like, this is what I demand of myself, and I met those standards. I fulfilled those standards. That is, I don't know, there's happiness in that.
Yeah.
Like it's quite basic, but it's also, I don't know. For me, I found more happiness in that than any of the other kind of things that we do in photography. And it's the simplest, most basic, the thing that you start with, really.
You can get happy from being paid or from winning awards, but there's a study of happiness. I think, I can't remember anything about it. No reference, sorry. I'm sure, just trust me.
End of conversation.
Yeah, well, I've got notes later. There's a study of happiness that showed that the best way to happiness, or the best kind of happiness, is learning to do something and doing it well. And I think it was about crafting, especially in lockdown, where we all started to learn macrame, or those of us, I mean, if we weren't homeschooling, had a bit more time, but you start to learn a craft, something that you can make something, you can create something. And photography is totally like that. And yeah, that feeling of joy when you're in the zone, that feeling of flow when you're working
it's much
well.
about the process, isn't it, as the end product. Both give you joy in a different way, the physical doing of something, but also seeing the end product, something that you can show people.
I love that moment of editing, when, because I think we don't in our genre, we don't change a lot in editing, do we, but when you're like half a minute away from the final picture, you're just making those tweaks, that compositional tweak, and I love that feeling, that final stage.
I love the feeling when you've taken an image and you just know that it's good. So you get that like feeling. I love that.
Do you always look straight away?
No, well, I mean, for Bride Tribe, I could not look, because she was straight out looking, and when you're just like, did I? I thought I did. It looked like I did. I'm pretty sure I did, but did I? You know what I mean? Because obviously I couldn't even see. So that kind of like feeling, like I had that feeling, but it was sort of muted in the sense that I didn't get to see it. But like, or sometimes things are slow paced, and you get to see them and you enjoy them or something is a split second and you don't get to know, but you just get that feeling of just, I've created something and it's good. It's a really nice feeling.
I'm going to share another one now.
Oh, we're so lucky to have this job.
No, thank you so much for coming as well and sharing experiences with us. Right, next one.
A little buttonhole flower on the floor there.
Yeah, so an image like this is kind of, I guess, this is kind of sorting it out in the moment. So if we go to the next picture here, you can actually see what I saw. So this is me I was walking down the corridor and turned the corner and saw this. So this is a moment that was unfolding already, I stumbled upon. So I was like, okay, this is already happening, and what I'm trying to do here is it's about reducing the lag time between seeing something that's actually a moment that's already taking place, that's interesting, recognizing it, and then figuring out what's important, what's not important, and how to make this compositionally as interesting as possible. So immediately I was like, all that stuff around, all those other people, they've got to go. Because the first picture is just a reaction shot. Then I try to clean it up with the rest of the people. I know that they're not important. I know they've got to go. So then I move over and I look down on him, just make it about him.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be very easy, something like this, just to say, got it. There you go. He's under the chair. But it's always important that whilst something is going on that's interesting, don't leave it. Stay with it until it's over. Mm-hmm. So I just stayed with him, and I got this next picture, but I didn't actually see the flower until he did this. So when he moved, I was like, oh my God, it looks like he's looking for the flower. And you get the lovely, like the shadows as well off his leg.
You get the little shadows, and just you can just tell it.
The tension's just beautiful in that one.
Because he could sleep here, couldn't he?
Exactly.
This one
or dead.
Yeah. This is just such a much more strong image. But
just the shape.
Even after this, like I stayed and waited until he crawled out underneath, because you never know, something else could have happened. Yeah. So it's always important to stay with it.
Especially so when you shoot families, because it's the kids really who are the ones whose behaviour could go in any direction. They could go in any direction. And as much as you can anticipate, you never know what they're going to do. And you think you've got it, and you think that moment is finished. But if there's little people involved, anything could happen at any time.
I love the little people at weddings and on family shoots. They're just so great, they're so spontaneous. It's harder with adults because they're mostly more boring, and that's more of a challenge. But not always. Look at the best one that I can do.
Do you think it helps, like, that people are drinking at weddings?
Yes.
Yeah, it's yes, we've there was a period of when we were looking at in our portfolio a couple of years ago. We were like, all our favorite pictures are children, and then so we've really spent a lot of time, concentrated effort to ensure that we could get only adults. It was if there's a kid in it, it can't go in the portfolio. Now that's a hard task, because some of our layers would have a kid in it, and Liam would be like, no.
It's like, no. For a while, I was like, no.
No. I'd be like, what about no?
I was like, you can show it one day, but just put this one on the back burner. I don't want to know about a good kid picture for a while.
Yeah, I know, that's what we said.
I love how disciplined you are, and I wonder if the fact there's two of you means you can push each other not only to see things but to really hone the portfolio. I don't know if you've got time to look at. There's two pictures that just came to mind from your general portfolio: the cradle to the grave one, and the I love that you have names for your photos. The man with the dog picture.
Oh yeah,
dog man.
Dog man.
Zebra boy, drive.
When you're communicating with somebody, you have to have a shorthand way of referring to images.
Because when you work on your own and you communicate to your client, you say, so you want number 7 frame. You don't say you want dog man. You wouldn't say that. Yeah.
Exactly.
This image, this was the original spot for this image was just a still life. So I walked over because I saw the cradle and the grave, and they were just positioned there. So I walked over and I thought, that's an interesting still life picture. And as I stood to take it, before I could take it, this guy just rolled into the image and parked in the middle.
Love it.
And I was like, even better.
It's like a unicorn just riding in.
There is actually just one frame for this. There's just the one click. There you go.
Perfect location for you.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
It's interesting that you did that. We've got too many kids, or every photo's got a kid, because actually there's people who have weddings that haven't got kids.
They have no kids.
They have kids at a wedding. So you've got to appeal to them as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we just felt like our main slider on our website, just very kid heavy, and it was a bit of a challenge for us as well. We like to give ourselves challenges. So yeah, the adult one was a really difficult one, but we've been working on it for a couple of years now, and got quite a lot now. But it was, and also once you start thinking of something must get more pictures about kids, then you start actually doing it at weddings, and that helps to then increase your portfolio, which really works. There you go, another one with no kids.
Yeah. A layered image, no children. Yeah. So this is the kind of thing that we would be looking to do, I guess. This is a fairly good example of this kind of thing. So, for example, in this initial spot, I mean, this is lots of things going on in this image. So where do you start? You know, but really, it's just actually simply the shadow over his face and the fact that he's smoking. It's the shadow that was the initial spot. The shadow over his face was like, that's an interesting. The fact that he's smoking and he has this weird kind of shadow covering his face is like, okay, that's something. And the area behind him, even though there was nobody there now, it was an area where people were all the time coming into. It was like a crossroads area. This was actually this was taken last year. It was like a really small wedding. It was like
that's pretty much everyone in the picture, isn't it?
Yeah, minus the bride.
Minus the bride.
That's pretty much everybody, yeah.
So the groom is the one smoking.
Okay, and he's got his uniform.
They recently got I've just ordered it today, actually, their wedding album, and that's one of the images in there, and it made me so happy because you know, that kind of image being put in there. In fact, they have a really cool wedding album where it looks like a fine art book, so it's like paginated, and then the images are all just, you know, as if it was a street book, so just one picture per page, and this was one of them that they chose. So, you know, when they only had 20 images to choose from, I'm pretty pleased that one made it.
Yeah, that's satisfying. They've booked you because of your style, and they're picking the photos that made them book you as well.
Exactly.
Nice.
You want to have their wedding album kind of looks like a street photography book.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It's a really good example of one.
Yeah, they really like that style, which was great. That's what we love.
Yep. So this is the initial spot, and then it's like, okay, so I like that. So I've moved around, and then it's like people are coming into the picture, and it's just kind of, again, playing around and waiting for this kind of something to happen in this area. And occasionally, if anyone moved, I'm kind of waiting for the picture to happen, essentially. And as soon as they all come together, bam, got it.
And again, it's so great that the guy's got the cigarette and he's the coolest version of his face. And then you've got the people in the doorway as well. Just and
nicely balanced. Lots of things going on in the frame. You've got the guys separating. I like the fact that the guy's got his hand up, covering, shading the light.
They're all quite anonymous. The people, no one's doing anything like this one. He's in these two. He's drawing your attention to him, isn't he? Whereas this one, it's just about the whole picture, and people looking out. All of them looking this way, and then he's looking that way, and he's looking over here. Yeah, it's great.
Plus, the one in the sunglasses doesn't look good in any of the others, but in that one she looks amazing.
Yeah. So and like they're wearing really interesting clothes. Like we'll hit the three guys, this guy, and this guy are wearing really interesting clothes, all completely different as well. Which is,
and this light is very
it's
very strong and warm and.
Yes, but whenever light appears like this at a wedding, it's like, okay, time to try and utilize, because it doesn't happen that often in England anyway. So it's like, okay.
Do you still shoot mostly in England?
I mean, recently, exclusively. But yes, we've always, I'd say, even like in a pre-2020. It's never got higher than maybe 25%. I think.
Yeah,
that's as high. We never really wanted to, though. That's the thing. Like when we don't, like, that's not our. We will shoot abroad. We'll shoot anywhere, but it's not something that we actively. I would personally take if I had a wedding anywhere else in the world and England, and they were equal, like, couples, like the same couple, if you could make the same couple, you see what I mean? Like
a clone.
Like a cloned couple. Twins
who stopped speaking 5 years ago and got married.
they were both equally as awesome. Then I'd rather shoot in the UK.
Do you think there's something, because I think there's something so British about your work? There's the humour in it and the way they look. And we mentioned Martin Parr very beginning many hours ago. I just feel that cultural quirk.
It feels like the British sense of humour.
It does, although, like, I would say a good percentage of our couples are not British.
Yeah, I'd agree on that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of American,
Or
Polish,
just, Polish, German.
German, French,
Yeah.
English as well. But yeah. And we do weddings abroad.
Italian.
Yeah. And it's about, I think,
Hungarian. Maggie, was it Maggie Hungarian?
Maggie's Bulgarian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think it is an English, like we get asked this a lot, like, is it just an English thing? But it's no, we get a lot of, I don't know, but yeah, she's Bulgarian. Like lots of different kinds of cultures. When we've traveled, I think it's just that we don't get a type of wedding, which I love. So we'll do a castle, and then we'll do a beach, and then we'll do whatever, a pub, and it's all about that they love the type of photography they do. I guess most of them like street photography in some way. Quite a few of them reference Martin Partois or Alex Webb. Not always, but sometimes. So I'd say that's the theme, is that people love photography. Like they have art books in their house. We go to a lot of, bride and groom preps, and they have art on their walls, and they have photography.
And you just breathe out and go, oh,
yes.
My God.
Yeah. So cool.
Should we quickly just look at your street work again? Because we need to, I guess, wrap up pretty soon.
I would say, though, just going back to that, that's one of the most common questions that we get when we do speaking events abroad, is that people say, but if in this country X, we couldn't do documentary work, sometimes just documentary work, or we couldn't do like humorous work in this country. And I'm always like, well, do you like our work? And they go, yeah, we love it. It's like, would you book us for your wedding? It's like, yes. It's like, well, hang on, you live here. It's like, when we started in this country, it wasn't like this. It's like, if there's always someone like you, if you like it, you've got to trust that there's other people. You're not alone. If you like something, there's other people in your country of millions of people that will like it too. You've got to trust that,
That's exactly where I got to with my family work, where I like it. I can't be the only person in this country or the world that likes this. Then I found that there's actually a community of people doing it. Still small though, but it's that thing, you've got to trust that people might not know it exists or know that there's that possibility. But unless you try, and there's got to be other people who like it.
When you go to the movies, there's not just action movies or romantic movies or comedies. There's everything, right?
And you're not sitting alone.
Yeah. And niche can be commercial.
Of course.
It could be very, very commercial. And in fact, the more niche it is, the more expensive it can be. Whether it's an artisan product or a special bespoke service. And I think there's sometimes a fear about putting a niche art service out there. And can I even charge it? You can charge more for it because it's niche.
We're not selling iPhones. We're not. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. We're trying to book a relatively small amount of work. We're trying to appeal to like 20 plus.
In the entire world.
Yeah.
In the entire world.
Yeah.
Can't we get that many weddings a year? Like what?
As well as booking weddings, you have a print shop, don't you, on your website? You sell your street prints.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and they're just beautiful. And I'm interested how you balance. I mean, do you still shoot so many? Do you go on like street shooting trips every year? How do you balance your workloads?
We really like to talk to people about personal projects and personal work, because I think it's an area where it can really help you grow if you do have time. Sometimes you don't have time.
Well, you don't make time because you don't
make time. Yeah. I think that really struck home to me last year, where I was shooting less for work because of COVID. That actually I shot more than I'd ever done before for myself, and I really felt that growth.
Pre-COVID, every year we would do a street trip somewhere, somewhere in the world, usually somewhere we'd fancy going. And would usually take, sometimes we'd do two, we'd usually take our partners with us, and we'd have like half holiday, half street trip.
Yeah.
So most of them, like Cuba, was like half the time we were just on the beach, having a good time on holiday. and then the other half of the time we were just wandering the streets. And you can kind of combine it to an extent. And then we are also part of the 8th Street, which is a wedding kind of street photography group, and we would go and do street trips with them all together. So there'd be a group of wedding photographers who also do street photography, and we'd go and do trips. So like Mexico, we did with a few of them.
The Day of the Dead, which was amazing.
Yep, we did the Day of the Dead.
I love this one, by the way. This
Is this a
is
doll?
this Pickering.
That is Pickering, which is where our parents live.
Oh, it's Pickering. Pickering is where we would stop off on the way to Whitby.
Is this a doll?
It is a doll.
Is it?
It was really perturbing me, this picture.
It's disturbing.
It is a doll in the pram. Okay.
I hope so.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
It's taken ages ago. This, what, 2015? Yeah. Liam literally went into town one day in Pickering and with our mum, and he came back with like a heap of photographs. And I was like, what happened? Why is there a fake doll?
Cuba, Pickering, it's just life is life. I love the Scarborough Beach one as well with the seagulls.
Yeah. That was just another walk. A lot of the kind of in this country, a lot of them I just go out for a walk. I actually have loads of photographs that have never been even edited or shown or put anywhere, that are just on a hard drive that I need to go through.
Oh, yeah.
that I just take and that just don't do anything with. But
I love this one.
Yeah, we took this. We were just on a walk together, weren't we? But we were doing we had a Fujifilm workshop, and we wanted to show the workshopees, like, oh look, this is what you can get. You know, they were going to have a little bit of a practice afterwards, and so we showed them this is what we got on various other ones. But yeah, it was like an hour, wasn't it? It was pretty crazy that we got this image.
Seagulls.
I love that she's wearing a top like a deck chair and sitting on something. And
the seagulls are so purposeful as well, and they're really like they're on a mission to go somewhere.
they're like, get this side of me.
Yeah, well, the newspaper says I'm going to live to 110, and the seagulls are like, that's what you think. It's like the birds from Hitchcock.
Yeah. There's one extra. If you had those frame sort of contact sheet, one extra seagull in each frame. Just yeah. But you have such beautiful street work, and I always think it's wonderful to see commercially successful photographers who do wedding or family selling art prints as well, because we are artists, and you quite clearly are artists, and even if you don't know the people in the pictures or the scene and the place in the picture doesn't have any meaning to you as a piece of art in itself, absolutely stick it on the wall. And if anyone's looking for Christmas presents, go and have a look at the York Place Studios website print shop. Some beautiful work on there. We've only just shown a fraction.
There's an awful lot. It's sort of categorized by different trips and places you've been, and obviously you pick your favorite shots from those, and they're feast the eyes every single time. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I think we've been going about 2 hours now. So thank you so much, everybody who stayed with us. I knew this was going to go on a bit. We've talked to you all day.
This is basically really so that we can have a chat for a long time about this.
Yeah.
We love talking photography. It's what we do. So it always overruns whenever we talk about photography. We always chat way too long about it, but it's a great subject. So it's lovely.
Thank you so much
to people who actually want to chat about photography. My family are like, oh god, here she goes.
Should get your mum on next.
Yeah, get her on.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks very much for joining us, everybody. I'm going to thank you to you guys. We'll carry on to you in a minute, but I'm just going to turn off.
Thank you for watching.
Facebook now.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
We should have stopped now.
Yes, this video has ended.